going on in the culture right
Exactly.
now.
There's a lot of culture
around, like our brother Kanye West. Chicago's on. Love you, Colfax.
So
let's talk about that, though.
Real quick,
I mean, did we not
Y'all
just say?
Always put me in this position to defend
you're a
this
combative
brother,
man. We love it. It's sparring.
Yeah,
it's
like
sparring.
love to hear you expound on it.
So, all right, real quick.
You got that perspective.
We talked a little bit about Kanye in one of the audios, but this is before.
Yeah.
This is before the line came out, and then the album didn't come out when we recorded that. We all Kanye fans in here. We all music fans in here. So we're gonna talk about music in general, but so the album dropped.
Right.
Yay. People, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I know you are. Why are you talking to me, son?
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna check.
Well, acknowledge the series of events, because I'm into all of hip hop, and first Kanye got punched in the stomach, figuratively speaking, by Drake. Like let's get that out first.
So we can.
But I just think we got to contextualize the last conversation we had about us doing more content that actually pushes us forward as opposed to talking about like what's already happened. And I think Ye kind of said that, but he didn't clearly articulate that. This idea that, we're still talking about slavery after 400 years.
So? Right?
But in the same token, or the same breath, we're saying that we should be producing content that doesn't always talk about slavery. We want to, so it's that weird dichotomy of the two, right? And I get both sides of the story. And I do believe we should always talk about our history. Yeah. But it'd be great could we start creating the next Black Panther.
What does Thousand say? He got to ride the which bus in Chicago? Does Ye have to ride for him to get back for him to get out the second place?
Name one: 6, the 14, the 28. Really,
in the
Stony Island
in the wintertime.
In the wintertime, going from I would say jump on that bitch at about 63rd and take the 28 to about 95th. And then take the matter of fact, jump off 87th and then take 87 straight across all the way to like Luther South. And the Ye that we all love will be back in that instance. Right? All he has to do is take 2 buses.
That's all he got to do. 2 buses in Chicago.
Just 2 buses.
All right. So, So what led up to the album I guess became the album rollout for Kanye West is he got on Twitter. A couple weeks later, he was at TMZ. Main headline was he said slavery was a choice. Got a lot of backlash for that. Released a couple tracks. And a video. T.I. Oh yeah. He did an interview with T.I.
That shit was trash.
He said he loves Trump.
Hey.
Pusha T comes out.
Yeah, Thousand said he liked Trump, but not in the sense of like affinity, but it was like, Trump do allow us to see what this country really is all about.
Exactly.
I agree with that. I think America got the president it deserves.
But Kanye didn't. The problem is Kanye didn't say what.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. That's the continual problem with Kanye. If you're not like Nas is my favorite rapper of all time. To me, one of the most prolific lyricist ever in his prime. He can break shit down in a lyrical format like no one I've ever heard. If you ever watch an interview with Nas, he's not articulate. He's not. He can't tell you. He can't say what you just said. Therefore, I love that Nas doesn't speak on those things. He'll write it in a rap or he'll keep it the fuck moving. What Kanye's problem is whether or not he's George Jetson in his brain and he's talking Georgia, which is a clever line. Shout out to whoever wrote it, but. Whether or not that's true, out of his mouth when he's in an interview format, it's not articulated properly. And I don't care how much of a free thinker you are. I don't care how much of a genius you are. When you have millions of kids and impressionable young adults who are going to clamor on to what you're saying, it has to be based in rationale. It cannot just be, I fuck with Trump and I fuck with Candace. Now y'all just go ahead and do the research on why. No, it can't be that. Right. If you can't explain it, then shut the fuck up, to be honest.
Unfortunately, 99% of rappers don't know how to do that.
Right, but I don't think 99% of them at that level speak on this stuff. Jay-Z's not going on.
You can even not even say rappers. I mean,
people. I don't know the shit that
celebrities,
regular
entertainers,
people.
A lot of people like.
If you ask me 10 things that Obama changed on, I could tell you, give me 20 minutes to go research it or whatever. But I'm not a politically savvy person where I could say he passed this bill and then reneged this bill and that. Like most people can't do that. So I'm saying when you're on that level, like people were mad when he went to go meet with Trump. I'm sorry to cut you off. People were mad when he went to go meet with Trump, right? I had no issue with him going to do that. But when you pull up to the Trump Tower, pull up with Michael Eric Dyson, pull up with fucking Mark Lamont Hill, pull up with niggas that know.
I think we're actually giving these guys too much credit. We think that they're going in with like real intention and strategic thinking.
Yeah.
These guys are going in to get attention on any and everything they do. They're celebrities.
Yeah.
What celebrities do? Celebrities always have the camera pointed to them. They may not necessarily have a real thought out message or intentions, or maybe they do. I don't know, but it ain't always going to be as coherent as we think it is. I do find it strange that our brother Ye, which me, in my opinion, he know what he's doing. He only wants to talk when he's about to put out a product, whatever that product's going to be. Yeah. And whether you like it or not, it works. We're talking about him. He got all these other albums coming out with the people on his label. That Daytona shit fire, like it or love it. Yeah. His album questionable, but we're talking about it.
Yeah.
But he's a genius on that level because he got us talking about this shit. We don't like the way he's doing it, but he's doing it, and we all in marketing.
And that's why.
If we really, as guys in marketing, if we can package that shit up and feed it to a client, I think we would.
What, Kanye?
Not so much as Kanye. The tactics behind his stupid ass.
I mean, it's trolling to me.
It's trolling.
It's not.
Brands do it all the time.
That's why I was saying the thing about Tekashi 69.
Because it's the same shit. It's the same shit.
And I said that. I said, what's the difference? If you think about it, what's the difference between Lil Pump, Tekashi 69, and Kanye West?
Shit.
They're all the same person right now. What the difference is Kanye's body of work.
He has a legacy.
I give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, oh no, he's kind of separated from them, but not really, because they understand that. And it's almost like high school. I've said this before. Like, I was in high school, and it would be a kid first stop of the train. He would, like, when the train would pull off, they would pull the emergency brake. The train stopped. Everybody's going crazy about it. I still remember that till today.
Damn.
I don't know where it got him.
He made a memory in your head.
It's just like, you made some kind of weird kind of memory in my mind. Right. That's what Kanye's doing. That's what all of them are doing.
So I think, to me, the issue is he did all that, and I think the expectation was that the album was going to be top 3 Ye albums ever. No, I mean before it dropped.
I haven't cared about a Kanye solo since 2010. Solo
Talk about it.
You said
there hasn't been a great Kanye solo since 2010.
I have not cared about a Kanye solo project since 2010.
I cared about Yeezus, the lead up, but the album was trash. Pablo was mediocre, and this album is mediocre. The classic Ye is gone. That's just it.
Yeezus was groundbreaking.
No, it wasn't.
Yeezus was one of his greatest albums too.
No, it wasn't.
It was incredible.
What part of it?
No, it wasn't.
The beats or the lyrics?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
I think I missed out on that part.
Because black people don't listen to alt rock. That's why you're saying it's groundbreaking.
I listen to alt rock.
No, I was about to say.
We invented alt rock.
I'm saying, when I talk to a person who tells me why it's so groundbreaking, what they say is, these sounds are so new. And then you go talk to a person who's already into the genre and he didn't do anything new.
But
he brought it to a new space.
And NERD already
and he didn't do it.
Exactly.
You're talking to someone who is probably in this room, probably the most rock.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, okay.
Out of all of us.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that immediately when I heard New Slaves, I was like, oh shit. He went back to like Marilyn Manson. Beautiful People.
He had Gaffeine.
So if you didn't like Beautiful People, which was fire,
right,
then you're not gonna like what Ye was doing. If you didn't like, the sounds were distorted, sure. But the fact is that if you didn't like Jimi Hendrix, you wouldn't like. Oh my God, a Massive Attack or 9 Inch Nails or anything from that genre which was all killer. And I knew exactly what he was doing, but then what he was saying, New Slaves.
Fire.
What his whole content
I can't fuck with that.
Focus was,
it was bullshit though, but it was fire.
Why was it bullshit?
Because he went on a tirade when that single came out about us being new slaves, slaves to consumerism, slaves to X, Y, and Z. And then what did he do? He turned around got his clothing label and charged more than everyone else in the marketplace for his shit. He went and became what he was ranting against.
I do want
you want him to make? Starberries?
Wait.
Make a $15 T-shirt if we're new slaves.
Wait, real quick. I do want to dispute that because if you look at the couture level of
but why do you need to do couture?
I agree with you, bro.
Can I?
Yes, I'm sorry.
The point just being like if you look at his competitors, Virgil, Jerry Lorenzo, in that space, Hader Ackerman, all of them are charging the same or more than what he's charging for clothes.
But wasn't his argument that space is what makes us new slaves?
Yeah.
Right. So why participate in that space?
If you listen to the Sway interview, he said he does not own the factory. He does not own the factory.
I got a quote.
All right, what's the quote?
He said on this new album, they say build your own. I said how, Sway?
They
said build your own. I said how, Sway? I said slavery was a choice. They said how, yay? One of the most hypocritical quotes on this whole album. So what you mean to tell me is you as a multimillionaire, regardless of whether you're black, brown, whatever, the space with the same people you're saying, can't figure out the wherewithal to overpower these guys who have been, who own these fashion houses, who've been in charge of this industry for years. You can't figure that out. And you get frustrated at Sway because he keeps telling you, build your own. But let me just finish. He keeps saying, build your own. And you say, how? But you have the nerve to tell a slave on a plantation who's not a multimillionaire, who doesn't have the access you have, that they should have just figured this shit out.
And
this shit is crazy.
Without options.
This shit is insane.
And the other thing is, what I find funny is like now we're talking about couture and all this fly shit, but then LeVar Ball brings out a sneaker for like fucking $400 and he's crazy.
Right.
But he has a no. Oh, but it's not couture. It's not like
because it's not following. It's not chasing a white European man that owns a fashion house.
Bullshit.
800 miles from now, 8,000 miles from here.
Okay, I didn't agree with the fact that he didn't want to put his own money into his clothing line. I was kind of like why should he have to? Like,
because he said we were new slaves.
Did Tom Ford put his own money into his own line?
But if we're new slaves, why are you following Tom Ford?
Not even
That's what I'm saying.
At the end of the day, when you start a business, it's always best to do it with other people's money.
But he said we're new slaves.
Check it out. Fuck what he said. I'm talking about what it is.
Right. It's business.
It's business. At the end of the day, when people start a business, the goal is to not use your money.
I understand that.
Even we talking about Virgil Abloh. Everybody think he did that on his own.
Exactly.
Y'all are missing the point.
This group called NGG, based out of Italy, is backing everything Virgil is doing.
I agree with what you're saying.
You don't know that.
But the point you're missing is
I'm saying.
No,
hold up. The big point about this whole segment is it's not even about what Kanye's doing. Kanye's going to do what Kanye wants to do. I want to talk about the marketing. I just want to focus on that because we're going in circles about Kanye West antics. That's a non-ending topic.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the rollout. Let's talk about why are we still talking about Kanye.
All right.
Father stretched his hands and he got it from me. I pop style for 30 hours and I let him repeat. That was hard.
All right.
That was hard. Everybody can't come up here.
Clearly, you're a Drake fan.
No, I'm not. Funny enough, he knows.
Yeah,
but I give it up.
He's not a Drake fan.
The nigga said Father reached out his hands and he got it.
Back to the rollout.
I brought it up for the rollout.
To AD's point. Okay, back to the rollout.
Sorry.
Here's why I'm interested. Here's why I laughed when all these niggas was like, "Oh, I'm never going to listen to Kanye again after what he said about Trump and got a hat signed by Trump." I was like, "All right, watch. 3 weeks from now, you'll be fucking listening, and I'll be laughing in front of you and saying, what do you think about the album?" Because Ye constantly, obviously, he already has the body of work to which we all respect and mostly love. 2, he delivers that body of work in a new and original way every single time. So right now, what we're witnessing is not one album. We are witnessing 5 albums that are one body of work that are being released and curated all by Kanye West using varying versions and voices that are all within his system of good music. So I am not listening to the Kanye Ye album in isolation and siloed.
You need Daytona.
I'm listening to Pusha T and Ye. Then I'll listen to Pusha T, Ye, and Tiana Taylor. Then I'll listen to Pusha T, Ye, Tiana Taylor, and Nas. Then and all of those will be one long body of work to which we've never seen happen before. Maybe Stevie Wonder did it with like Minnie Riperton or something like that, or Maurice White did it with Earth, Wind and Fire and Philip Bailey and and variations of that. But we haven't seen it in our generation. So that's why Ye is important. That's why his marketing and his rollout is so important, because he constantly thinks of new ways to get our attention.
So let's think about this, right? We're in this new digital era, right? He's doing these albums that are coming out once a week and they feel like a larger body of work.
Yeah, it's like the new Good Friday.
Well, it's kind of that's kind of interesting, right? Because you think about like this is all tied to an overall marketing experience. Number one, all the albums are 7 songs. We're in the age of digital,
right?
The age of streaming. The more and more you create something that fits that format, that means that you're probably going to consume that a lot more. That Pusha album is constantly on repeat for me. But guess what, though? I can easily hear it over and over and over because it's only 7 songs. So that totally fits the streaming, culture that we're in right now. That gets the numbers up. That gets your metrics up. And, the KPIs are real. So, if you're not talking about...
True. That's real.
You're not talking about even with Ye album. I mean, I like the album as much as his older albums, but I can easily consume it because it just really feel like...
It's snackable.
It is snackable. I agree.
And most of them, that's what
and he's not like, and we're not saying like he's like the first to do it, because a lot of contemporary artists are doing that.
But let's be honest, it's the first to be done with pop music in this era, which you got to give him credit. He know how to
by
get
an
your
artist
attention.
of his magnitude.
Every time he does something with his music, it's definitely different, and it feels like a bigger thing outside of the music.
So let me ask a question: are we excusing a subpar project because it's separated and broken out amongst multiple artists and as a collection of one, but not holding it to its accountability and all the other shit that's happened prior to that?
I say no.
Because I'm all about the music.
I'm about the music, but me as a marketing professional, I got to look at it kind of like it's not just the music. But I agree.
So,
this album is not that great to me.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking at it more so like the experience around where
But my question about the rollout is, did the rollout, because everything that Colfax said is true in terms of it being brilliant, being a part of a gallery, a 5-part series and all that. But was that the beginning of the rollout? If it was, cool. But you guys just told me a few minutes ago, or alluded to, TMZ and all that was a part of the rollout. Twitter was a part of the rollout.
Yeah, it is.
If it was, then to Rose's point, we got to talk about that too. We can't just say 5 albums, genius. Nah, because the shit you said on Twitter wasn't genius, my nigga.
Well, I mean, I think that
takes
that's
part of the
rollout. I want to have Mo to eat. I wanted Mo to eat. My bad, y'all.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. I think, but what you're saying, I think it goes back to what you're saying before, to how some people aren't articulate enough to articulate enough to actually like articulate what they need to say. Right? They can't effectively display or teach. Like everybody can't teach. Right? Everybody can teach you lessons, but everybody cannot actually teach. Right? So when he's putting it all through his music. Now, I think these Ye antics is nothing new. I think we all know this is Ye.
Shock value.
I mean, this has always been him from like
Day one.
from day one. I'm the greatest producer of all time, and we only heard you off the Blueprint, right?
Right.
So like but this,
hip-hop.
but that is hip hop though,
hip-hop.
and he's a child. He's a hip hop generation child. Right. So he's like So I think like what you're saying is like he's so complex. Right, but he's simple at the same time. I think about like Miles Davis, right? Like Miles Davis changed music probably like at least 2 times, right? At least 2.
No, he changed it 4.
4? Yeah, I say So 4, because some people argue 4 and stuff like that. But I know I'll say 4 for sure, right? But we'll say 2, right? But Miles Davis itself was like some of the antics he was doing back then. It's just that we didn't have that 24-hour media reel,
Right.
Some of the things he did were just like crazy.
Like a bitch's brew would be considered his Yeezys of that era.
Without question.
And
Without question.
Also, too, just to jump in, Miles Davis would also work with younger artists and appeal to the youth to reinvent himself every time he dropped. Yeah,
Exactly, and then he'll push the culture forward. And like the thing about this Ye situation, right? Like we got to think about you got to put everything in context, like you said, right? Like every album together, right? And like as a whole, and step back and look at what he's doing. But then you got to think 5 years from now what this is going to do for the music. Because one thing I can always say about Ye is that he and there's other people clearly, but to me, he like any other has pushed the culture musically in a different way every time he come out. Everyone always trying to follow him.
You don't have Drake.
I agree, but who
without Kid Cudi,
Yeah.
you won't have 808s and Heartbreaks. Then you won't have Drake.
There you go.
Because that album was inspired.
I
by
agree
Cudi.
with everything you're
But
saying.
even now, you can argue Common's Electric Circus though, kind of like is.
I guess my question would be, I agree with everything you're saying. I think College Dropout pushed the culture forward. I think Late Registration. I think Graduation. I think 808s and Heartbreaks. I think My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Already we're in stratospheric levels. But I'm asking you, 5 years after Yeezus, who in the culture is copying what you just said, which is the Jimi Hendrix sounds and they're not doing that. Migos and those guys are not following Yeezus.
I agree.
So what culture did he push forward? That Pablo came and went, and Migos and Future and those guys didn't follow that. So I agree the cultural push was there from 2004 to 2010, maybe 11 if you want to say Watch the Throne. But after that, and I love Kanye, his cultural influence has seriously waned.
I don't know.
Seriously.
But Yeezus influenced Skepta, influenced a bunch of international artists that we don't talk about here.
Exactly.
But why are we not talking about them? Because they're not relevant.
No, because we're Americans and we sucking on dicks. The rest of the world.
I don't know what that means.
No, we're sucking on dicks.
I'm a little lost. I'm a little lost.
Hold on, we think
I'm a little
America
lost.
is the only place that they can innovate in music.
I didn't say that.
Well, that's what
I'm asking you, have those artists? I didn't say that.
No, you
I
did.
said America's
You
the
said
only
why
place
we
that
didn't
can
hear
influence
about it
more?
because you didn't hear about it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
I feel like
that's not the argument I'm making. The argument I'm making is influencing popular culture, not subgenre culture.
Bruh,
maybe not.
electronic music around the world
So did
is
Kanye,
popular
so did
culture.
Kanye create electronic music?
No.
No. So we're back to the original
Yeah,
point.
but
How did he
So,
push it forward?
Wait, real quick. I mean, I can't really speak specifically and say I would have to do more research to say like Yeezus album is pushing X, Y, and Z forward. But in terms, if you think about the way, like AD said to his point, the whole marketing plan in terms of the tour, the merch, the Adidas deal that he did at that time, to me, that pushes a lot forward in terms of how artists were performing after that, in terms of how you engulf the whole audience and fans into the music, and basically have this like which he didn't invent, but you have this mosh pit kind of
I
style.
agree.
I feel
like
I do feel that there are artists that have been influenced by specifically Yeezus.
Who?
Lord was specifically influenced by Yeezus. I feel that what's the name of the woman that wears the she was in one of
Sia.
Sia was another
But when
one. that
y'all
was
say push the
specifically-
culture forward, you know that that's not who you're talking about. Come on, man. Like y'all,
What do you
y'all
mean?
reaching now.
Those are people I listen
Y'all
to.
are reaching. That you listen to, but when we say the culture, you know we're not talking about Lord
So you're
and
saying
Sia.
hip hop culture.
Yes. And
Okay.
if what you want to say is Kanye pushes white culture forward, cool.
But no
argument from me.
Now,
No argument
Okay,
from me.
sonically, maybe there isn't someone who replicated that sound.
Okay, that's what
But
I'm
I would
saying.
say Black Skinheads, New Slaves. What are the other songs on
Blood
there?
on
I
the
think all
Leaves.
on Sight. I think all of that content is what you're getting now in the Black excellence movement. I think
that's a
that
stretch
to me is
to
from
me, that's a stretch.
from a content side. That's what we're. You don't think that Black Panther had anything to do
With Yeezus?
With Yeezus at all? You don't
Hell
think
no.
that?
No, if so, how?
Hell
If so,
no.
how?
Hell no.
Black
In my
Skinheads-
opinion,
No,
hell
Yeezus
no.
to me represented the first sonic version of Afrofuturism that I could hear in this generation within the say last 5 to 10 years. The first one, right? That's black. That's Afrofuturism as a sound.
I
So
don't-
you could see it visually in.
I think Ryan Coogler would have called Kanye to do the soundtrack if that was the case, but he didn't.
No, I think that
But he didn't.
I think that Black Panther, if it had come out in 2010, it would have been. But I think that, or 2013, I'm sorry, it would have been. But I believe that 5 years later, it's now represented by K. Dot,
I respectfully
who I
disagree.
believe is also influenced by Yeezus.
Where? What album? He's
I don't
doing
know what album.
funk.
I don't know.
What album?
Right.
Please tell me.
Because if you think about it, like
Content-wise,
Damn is
Donald
trapped
Glover,
and-
Alright, wait,
Kanye did
Right.
kind of like not Kanye. Donald Glover, Kendrick did kind of like the funk
Exactly.
kind of
Can
experience.
So where's-
can I tell you where he's influenced? Only
Please,
because
please.
personally, this is my opinion. I went to the Damn tour and I just saw the TDE Championship tour. I will tell you right now, performance wise, is 100% to me influenced.
What
by
did you
Yeezus.
see?
By Yeezus or
What did you
Kanye
see?
West?
No.
By Yeezus.
What did you see?
In terms of the storytelling.
His concert felt like an opera, which is
Exactly.
like theater. And
Exactly.
It's bringing theater and music into like the same.
All right.
It's specifically theater and hip hop.
All right, so that, and then I will say, if you
That's
look
fair
at,
because I didn't go to the
okay, I think it was also influenced by Wu-Tang, but Kendrick had this whole Kung Fu Kenny character, and then throughout the show, he had like bits on the screen that was like, to me, like a movie or like a play. To me, that's 100% influenced by Yeezus, because I didn't see anybody doing that.
Well,
From a tourist perspective.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah,
I don't go to enough concerts to say that is like to confirm or deny that, right? Like,
All right.
like no,
I
you
respect
could be
that.
right.
Yeah, I
You could be
respect
right.
that.
Like prior to that, like I haven't been in that many experiences like that. But so to your point,
Yeah.
I'll take that as a fair thing to say.
Yeah.
I take that as very fair. To
Yeah.
say. I think Cudi came out with the Man on the Moon, which was like chapters in a movie. It was like a script, a play, chapters in a movie, bang. Like to that, I accredit that to Cudi more than Kanye. But I mean, I could be wrong.
Well, I'm just talking about performance-wise.
For me, I mean, to go back specifically to Yeezus, because I know I heard it. Who's the most important black artist currently in the world right now today?
Beyonce knows.
Musically, but artist.
Kanye,
Kanye.
West.
Like Kanye West.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say Donald Glover.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and say Donald Glover, right?
No.
Right now in 2018 in June.
If you're
yeah, at
talking
this
about
moment, right?
pure artist,
Now I'm going to, but let me finish my
yeah.
point. Let me finish my point. Is that I believe that Zealots of Stockholm, No Exit, were directly influenced, and even if you listen to like beat changes on This Is America, directly influenced by Yeezus.
Okay.
Not anything else, but specifically Yeezus.
Is that the culture? That's all I'm asking.
yeah. Donald Glover is it's the
No,
culture.
is that
So-
the culture? The B-side songs you're talking about, is that the culture?
Yeah, because I think
I
those
get what
lead
you're
to
saying.
what we are now experiencing with This Is America.
Right, but This Is America isn't the culture either.
Yes, it is.
No, I'm not trying to say it's
Entirely.
not black culture. This is what I'm saying. We cannot
Popular
get
culture was hot.
I'm sitting here. It's weird.
So,
I'm sitting
real
here with a
quick.
cape. Hold on, let me just
Okay,
say.
yeah, yeah.
I'm sitting here with a cape on, defending shit that I don't even really fuck with. Right, so I'm not even telling you this is what Brandon likes. I don't like Tekashi 6ix9ine and Migos and all that shit.
Yeah.
But the same thing you said earlier, right, about we can't. The same way you're like. People are unplugging cable boxes and stuff, and I do that now. I don't get stuck in what I like and X, Y, and Z, right? We have to treat music the same way.
I agree.
And with music, the people who are leading the charge. I'm not talking about B-side on Childish
Okay.
Gambino, one
So-
YouTube video. I'm talking about Migos.
So-
I'm talking about Future. I'm talking
so-
about these guys. They're not influenced by Yeezus.
Okay.
Therefore,
They are.
Wait.
Yeezus was also 5 years
they're
ago.
influenced
Wait.
by Kanye West.
Yes.
But
Okay.
not by
Okay.
Yeezus.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
think that's
honestly,
fair.
That's what I'm saying.
just to-
Drake, another
ju-
one.
ju-
Influenced
yeah.
by Kanye West,
Well,
but not by Yeezus.
Just to wrap this up,
That's
I
all
will
I'm
say
saying.
if you're looking at popular music, what hip hop, what's on Billboard, I will agree with you that you're
That's all I'm
saying that
saying.
it's not that kind of
We're also
electric.
talking about an album that's 5 years old. He's already released 2 more albums since then.
And Pablo didn't influence anything.
Yeah,
on
I
the
would
charts
agree with that.
either.
I think
Pablo
that was
was
the most
following the
disappointing thing
culture.
about Pablo was that was the first time that I heard that Kanye West being influenced by someone else.
Okay.
He was taking the
That's
mantle.
fair.
He was taking the baton from other leads where it was
Right.
kind of
Like
like, oh my
Migos,
god,
Quavo.
yeah. Yeah, it was like, oh, so you're now mumble rapping, you're now bullshit rapping, you're
Right.
not talking about other shit that you obviously we know you, Ye, you don't talk about because you can
He might-
bleaching models assholes and shit like that. It was
I
like
mean,
what?
he might need to call Rhymefest and
So let's ask this
Get-
bigger question, right?
Yeah.
Kind of, bring it full circle back towards the rollout and the marketing. Do we feel like his approach to the rollout and the marketing? What's our point of view on it? Like, do we care? Do
I
we
would-
care? Do we
yeah.
care that he potentially may have been trolling our culture? Number one. Number two, do we potentially care that, well, why he trolled a culture, but people always troll their own culture,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, do we care about these things because people are very passionate about?
yeah. I
some
would
of
let
the things
I
they
would
say.
let Dell and Mo weigh in. Guess. Yeah.
Just for me, just to Koufax's point, I do agree that because you were asking about like trolling the culture. I agree that the rollout was brilliant from a marketing standpoint, meaning anything sells, blah blah blah, whatever. But where I can't get down with the marketing, and by the way, I'm not a boycott. I never was for. If any of y'all was Facebook friends, I'm not with the boycott shit and all that anyway. But I'm saying that in general, if you speak about anything, I'm playoff Dells. Me in my group chat, I always say that it's a running joke. I watch no sports until the playoffs start. I watch no sports until the night of the Super Bowl. I always preference.
You still watch Super Bowl?
I always
You still watch football?
I watch the Super Bowl. I always preference my opinions with playoff Dell hashtag, and then I say this Tom Brady nigga is trash or fuck Curry. I fuck with LeBron, right? Because I understand my position is not backed with factual evidence, with having watched the season and all that. I say all that to say that serves to me as a microcosm of what Kanye doesn't do. He doesn't say, I'm not really a political guy, but here's my take. Blah, 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 blah. He comes out the woodworks, whether you call it trolling, whether you call it whatever, and he speaks from an authoritative POV. And to me, the people that he influences, this young generation who's not going to get online and see what Trump is doing and get online and see when he says Obama hasn't done anything for Chicago and X, Y, and Z. If the 16-year-old kid in Chicago, he knows this is a microwave era, they're not going to go online and see my brother's keeper or whatever else he's done.
So,
that's
quick,
dangerous,
can I jump in?
I can't fuck
with that
that.
point being said, I do want to hear what Mo has to say, but is it like my man Chuck said, is Kanye a role model? Like, is it his fault if he goes off the wind and says random shit?
He's an
and other
influencer.
people don't do research. Is that his fault? Or
He
is that
doesn't do
an
research
influencer.
himself.
I mean, no. Yeah.
So don't speak if you don't do research. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know about role model. I'm gonna let Mo go. I don't know about role model, but influencer,
Right.
absolutely.
You have a
I don't know if
responsibility.
there's a bigger influence.
Yeah.
Than
If you open your mouth about something, I cannot sit in this room and say Black Panther was trash and I didn't see Black Panther.
I agree.
That's irresponsible. And then I have no 10, 15 million followers. If I did, and I know all the hard work Ryan Coogler put into it, and then I came on a podcast and said Black Panther's trash and I didn't see Black Panther, that's irresponsible.
I agree.
Good marketing, bad, whatever you want to call it, is irresponsible.
I think that's because we have like a different moral compass, right? Like honestly, like the old additive, like each one teach one, like I think that falls short somewhere, right? Like everybody don't subscribe to that notion, right? So when they come, like when Kanye West comes on and say something outlandish, right? We're looking at it from our moral compass, it's like, yo, what's wrong with you?
Right.
You have a platform, regardless if you like it or not. People are going to subscribe to your platform. People live and die off what you say, right? That's why when Charles Barkley said, I'm not a role model, Charles Barkley was absolutely right. Your parents should be your role model. But that's in the ideal world, right? Ideal world, you look up to the people close to home, but people don't have the time to do that. People don't see, first of all, people don't even, I work with the youth, they don't see their role model in their household. They look towards other things to be their role models. That's why a lot of kids get into these, like, certain situations, like into like gangs or whatever it may be and things of that nature, because they, and it's just the positive part too. That's why some kids want to be professional athletes, because they see somebody like LeBron and like, I want to be like him. Or they see like, they heavy into the culture, like I want to be a fashion designer because of Kanye West too, right? So it's also that spectrum. He says a lot of outlandish things, right? I think he says more outlandish things than he say like positive and like more on par things, right?
Agreed.
But sometimes, I think as we're older, we can kind of separate the difference between it. There's a podcast I love. It's called I don't know if we can promote podcasts on here, but they don't really.
You can promote it, but we might cut it out. No, I'm just kidding. But you can promote it, we might cut it out though.
But the music snobs, right? Like and like they had this one like episode when they was talking about like how do you separate the character, the person from their music, from their art.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like, to me, it's like, sorry, I was just gonna say it's like WWE, but also it's like, do you separate the person's personal views from the music? And I before, because I know you're about to say something, Rose, is if the music is bad and what you're saying is fucked up, then it's kind of like, all right.
Yeah, you was right all along.
Yeah.
I can absolutely separate the music from the person.
Same.
Because
So you still listen to R. Kelly?
Well, I never was into R. Kelly.
I was.
No, I was never into R. Kelly before, but now
That's always a
all
litmus
this shit is
test, though.
happening. It's pushing me further.
I still listen to R. Kelly.
You said that last time, but here's the thing. Like I feel like Ye is a person. Like his views on a lot of shit. He's coming from a place I might not understand, or I didn't grow up that way. I grew up a certain kind of way. I always talk about like it was things I was into, shit I was into. Like, you had to be accountable for the shit you said. So if Dell came up on my block and says some wild shit, somebody's gonna approach you.
Exactly.
You might lose a tooth.
Exactly.
You might get
Exactly.
knocked down. You might whatever. So that's my thing,
But
right?
he don't have
Now
that.
he's
But he don't
talking
have
from,
that.
huh?
I was gonna say he don't have that.
Yeah, he doesn't have that. Right. But that doesn't take away from the fact that, like, at the end of the day, he hasn't done anything to me personally or done anything for, I'm like, yo, I cannot listen to Kanye West music. He's put down multiple classic albums. So it's like, I give him the benefit of the doubt musically, sonically. I give him the benefit of the doubt. All that other shit, that's bullshit to me. Like, I'm a grown man. Like, you think I'm sitting around weighing in on what the fuck he does? I don't give a fuck.
The where's
You can
Ja?
say what the fuck
Where's
you
Ja
want.
Rule on this
You
notion,
can say
right?
what you want to say.
There's one
You know what I'm
notion,
saying?
Tristan.
I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm like, yo, I've said it time after time after time. I'm all about the music.
Yeah.
If the music is good, I'll give you your props. I'm gonna bump your shit. I'll support your shit. All that other shit, keep that.
Right.
So,
Right.
you about to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna go back to the R. Kelly thing, right? Like, I think because R. Kelly's the litmus test, right? Like, like whenever you still listen to R. Kelly, but like, I think the difference is in the, like, I won't say the execution, like musically, but I mean like in life, right? Like Kanye West says a lot of like outlandish and bullshit stuff, but what is he doing in his personal life? I don't think he believes a lot of things he say, and he doesn't have, in this sense, he doesn't physically have the power to change your mind, right? Like you're not saying, he's not forcing you to say Donald Trump is the shit, right?
Right.
Meanwhile,
Exactly.
R. Kelly was fucking little girls. You know what I mean? So it's a different story.
Don't say allegedly because it's true. you don't say. I got tape. I was sending you the tape. Don't you?
I saw the tape.
That
I'm
was
old
him.
enough.
Don't you say allegedly. Do not say allegedly.
Yo, here's
Wasn't
the
he
deal. Without
acquitted?
giving too much backstory, I know like 5 of them that I went to high school with, and he would come up to our high school. This is back when he was still like Vibe R. Kelly, like at the Regal Theater R. Kelly. He was probably 8-9 years older than us, but he would still come to my high school, of which I will not say what the name of it is because then that'll give too much detail. But I know 5 girls to which of 3 he paid off, and this was in the 90s.
I believe
he
it.
So
paid
real
off
quick. All right, go ahead.
after to not catch a case in the 90s.
Wasn't he acquitted?
Come on, don't stop. Yo, you gonna stop that shit, Tony?
OJ.
You know. I'm gonna tell you some real shit, and it's kind of like the things that we've been talking about. Here's some real shit. It's a difference between hearing about. I know this is going in the past, but hearing Ray Rice smacking his wife versus seeing the video, there's a big difference. And once you see this tape, you're gonna understand where we're coming from.
Wait, you never saw R. Kelly's sex
Didn't Dave Chappelle say like they do all these crazy things with the green screen and editing?
Oh,
You trolling right now, Tony.
Yeah,
You
we're
trolling
done.
right now.
We're done.
saying it's a
Next,
choice.
next.
You say it's a choice.
yo.
I can't truly say Chicago motherfuckers. Y'all some
Y'all some wild
niggas, yo. And I
wild
love that
people,
about
man.
motherfucking Chicago.
I mean,
I
look,
got
man.
mad talent. Y'all some
All right,
polarizing
so
motherfuckers.
We put out. Look for every.
Atlanta, we just country and we love it. But
But see,
Chicago,
here's
y'all
the crazy
motherfuckers are
thing, though.
polarizing.
We only one step from y'all, nigga. I was born in
That's
Georgia.
True. That's true. Y'all like
Right.
the evolved
I mean,
version
yeah.
of Southerners.
we
Chicago-
just a few hours up the
Y'all are
road.
Southerners on cocaine.
Yeah, I mean Chicago got what? Michelle Obama.
I mean, we
got
give you.
Kanye, you
Here's the
got
thing:
Common,
they're
you
not
got
all
R.
born
Kelly.
and raised there,
No,
but we give
was
you.
it Michelle?
I always say this:
Jordan's not from
we'll
here,
give
though, so
you
don't start
one
claiming.
of everything. We'll give you one of
was born in
everything,
Brooklyn,
but we'll
right?
make sure that one.
He ain't grew up in New York.
Who's your
That
basketball
one.
player? Oh, okay.
Okay. No,
respect.
our basketball player is the guy who wore Chicago across his shirt his whole career.
Yo, real quick. Wait, we gotta get
Our
into that.
basketball player.
That's what he meant when he said we give you one. I'm making sure
We
he's
give
not
you
counting
the
the nigga that's not
no,
from Chicago.
Here's my point. We give you the
got
greatest
Chief
of
Keef,
every
too.
one thing, right? So without the Bulls, there would be no Jordan. Without our political system, there would be no Obama. Without our media, there would have been no Oprah.
That's dope for the third dopest country in the city in the country. That's dope.
Yeah, it's cool. We don't need to be the
All right,
first. Y'all get blown up. Y'all get no,
We'll do
no.
Chicago
Look,
episode.
I hear what you're saying, but also we don't get attacked.
What do you mean?
So
Yo,
y'all get shit blown up every few
Because
years.
y'all are inconsequential. If the Sears Tower fell, it wouldn't
sorry.
be, oh God, a holiday.
I'm sorry. Where does the president go in the event of an attack on America?
I'm
Not
sorry.
New York, it's Chicago.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
What does that mean?
That means that we're very consequential, but we don't need to tell the world we're the capital of the world and
No
shit.
one knows.
Like y'all motherfuckers.
But
Y'all ego is so outside. Y'all are like the city version of Kanye.
We'll do. Look, this is what we'll do. At some point, we'll do a Chicago episode. We gotta bring back 1,000. You already know Colfax is in the building.
I'll bring
New York
my pizza.
Episode. But here's the thing. Bring me Shadow.
Bring me
But
some.
here's the thing.
Bring me some
basketball players.
All right, but here's the thing. We love Chicago, but your boy Colfax is spitting all that shit right here in Brooklyn. So,
exactly.
That says a lot.
And before we start the episode, hold on. Before we start the episode,
we love the shot.
Bring me some LA niggas too, because I need to talk to another nigga that's from the top tier, and then we can get the second tier. But LA, what up? Talk to me, LA.
We love the shot.
Let Houston and Chicago duke it out, and then we can talk.
So, no, Kofi. Now you gotta address it.
Fuck they
you gotta be
talking
pushing
about.
T to that.
I'm from New York. Fuck the bullshit now. I'm from New York, nigga.
Here's the thing.
Now,
Here's the thing.
Now
I
I'm
can
in my
still
bag.
Here's the thing. I can still go home and afford to buy something in my
And
city.
I can't. I get my hair cut there every 2 weeks. What are
And
you
you
talking
can't.
about?
And you can't.
I can't.
Okay, you cannot.
I can't.
Beef.
There's
You
not
haven't been
one.
to Chicago in 20 years. What are you talking about?
There's not one part
You
of the
haven't been to
city.
Chicago in 20 years.
I really have been to
I'm in
Chicago.
Harlem every week. What are you talking about?
Yeah, because it has your
Because what?
Starbucks on every corner.
No. Because what?
Ooh,
Because what?
Because it has a condo
I think we'll reel it
built
back.
on every
And
corner.
what is the South Blue Path? What does the West Side have?
What
A
is
bunch
the
of
South
cops.
Side
A
have?
bunch of people that are
Real
cops.
niggas.
Yo.
We gonna reel it back a little
We
bit.
gonna reel it back. We gonna reel
reel
it
it
back.
back.
We gonna reel it back.
Hey, yo.
Chicago is mad overrated in terms of
I've seen this
toughness.
nigga in
Chicago's
3-4 years. He
mad
still
overrated.
starts with it. He still brings it all the time.
I don't.
I'm sorry,
I don't
I'm
want
sorry.
no Chief
I love
Keef
Chicago.
type cast coming to Brooklyn.
But yo,
to check.
and that's
Chief
the other
Keef.
a legend though. He is really like.
Did you see the Tekashi video though?
What are you saying?
The
yeah,
Chief
I
Keef
saw that.
shit?
I
He
saw
said,
that.
"Pull up. I ain't die yet." I
I saw
fuck
that.
with that.
I saw that.